Hello, everybody. This is Jonathan Mate with 1000 GM. I'm here with Var Akobian, GM Var Akobian. We're looking at round three of the St. Louis GM Norm event. Take it away.
All right, hello everyone, Grandmaster Akobian here, and let's take a look at this game played in round three, as Jonathan mentioned, against this is the FIDE Master Eswaran and against FM Woodward. So let's take a look. So the game started out with e4, c5. So right away we have very sharp and combative opening, the Sicilian defense. So knight f3, knight d6, d4, and we have a very sharp Najdorf defense. Najdorf defense, and you have the Najdorf here. You also have the dragon here. So these are one of the sharpest Sicilian lines. So gh3, b5, and now the point of b5 is to try to play bishop b7. And normally in this type of positions you have e5 is played or e6 for example, but b5 is a little bit different. So black is trying to play aggressive. And now a4, aggressive approach, immediately putting pressure on b5 by Eswaran. b4, logical response, and now knight d5. Taking the pawn on e4, it would be super dangerous. So I don't think this is a good idea because bishop c4 will come in, and I mean you don't have enough development. You really have to get your pieces developed. So this will be a very dangerous way to play. So black played e6, knight takes f6, queen f6, g3. I don't know if I like this move g3 because it's I'm not sure what it really does. I would have much rather prefer approach like bishop d3. Bishop b7, bishop d3, completing my development, and then going for ideas such as castle and f4. This is what I would like to do in this position. And then I think white is a little bit better here. So I'm not sure if I particularly like the move g3 because it's another pawn move, and I understand the point is to put a bishop on g2. And now there is ideas such as e5. So now queen goes back to d8 because you don't want to be sitting under e5. E5 it could be very strong, and then you're picking up the bishop on b7. So play queen d8, castles, bishop b7, queen d3. Now we just have a normal development. I mean, white is a little bit better here, but black is okay too. So a5 played, c3. This move c3 because it's immediately putting pressure on b4. It's trying to create a weakness. Okay, so bishop takes c3. So at the moment black has good pieces, and knight is coming on c6, so or even knight d7, knight to c5 is a possibility. So I like this idea c3 by white. Now knight a6. The point is to protect b4 and also put a knight on c5. So now it takes on b4, pawn takes b4. Another option is to take with a knight, but I think in this case, after capturing on b4, pawn takes back. For example, there is rook fd1, and I think white is a little bit better because he can play, for example, b3 to protect his pass pawn, and then play rook ac1, and white has a very good development here. And the pawn is protected; it's a protected pass pawn here as well. So I would give white some advantage, but this position is playable for black as well because black on return has two bishops. That's a good asset, okay? Now, in this position, after take, pawn takes, queen e3, bishop f6. Now we see some problems in a black position, okay? We see some problems in a black position, and I'm going to ask you, Jonathan, here. What do you think are the problems here that black has in this position?
Has a knight on the rim.
Very good. That's perfect. That's immediately already tells you the story. The knight on the rim is dim. Okay, so knight is not well placed here, and now this knight in rim, you cannot even move it because you have to worry about the b4 pawn. Okay, and what is the other problem that black have here in this position? If you look at,
let's see. It doesn't have its rooks on the open files yet.
Exactly, rooks are not developed. Queen is still stuck in original square. And to top that off, you still have a weakness here on b4 that you have to deal with, okay?
Yeah.
In the meantime, white already has a pass pawn. So if you just simply count the plus and minuses, you see that white is just significantly better already in this position.
Yeah.
Okay? That's how you evaluate this position. That's how you come up with decisions who is better or not. You just look at the placement of the pieces and, you know, how they set up. If the knight is on the rim, that's a minus, that's a negative, and you just go from there. So now rook AB1 played. I'm not sure if rook AB1 is the very best. I would have, let's say, played the move rook FD1, bringing my rook into the game, okay? And later maybe play rook FD1. But okay, played here, bishop D4. And he decided to give up the bishop here and try to put a pawn on b3. I don't know if I really like it, because now it's giving the c3 square for the. Yeah, I don't particularly like this play so much here, because now I think white is just almost winning here, because two bishops, a pass pawn on a5, just too many good things here. So f4, e5, take, bishop c3. Queen d4 played. I mean, it's just a domination here. Two bishops, centralized queen, and a pass pawn on a5. So it's here. This is a possibility. I would also consider a move like rook bd1, just simply to take the pawn on d6 to put pressure. That would have been fine too. Queen d1, bishop a6. And now chasing the queen back, bishop f4. Still a significant advantage because of the two bishops. Bishop g5. This is a bit strange decision. So now black plays queen e5, bishop f4, and of course, Andy, it looks like white was losing the thread of the game a little bit and ready to repeat, but black decided to go for a win by taking this pawn, and now still see some problems here. Even despite winning the a pawn, we still some problems because the d6 knight is hanging and the pawn as well on d6 and knight c2. Black still should probably hold this, but yeah, this wasn't the right concept here. Here, I think the move f6 is needed to stabilize the position, to restrict the movement of this pawn. I think this was very important, but he just shuffled the pieces here, and now we see the pawn coming in. And that also opened up the diagonal for the light square bishop. So now now we see a strong domination here. Bishop c6. Possibly bishop b7 is better as well, but white just has these two beautiful bishops, and they're ready to attack here at some point with f6, rook g2. Okay, in this position, again, bishop d5 is possible, rook g2, rook c4, f6, and white is just going for the win here. G5, and it looks like this was the blunder here. G6 would have offered better chances for black. So play G5, bishop G5, rook G4. And now rook G4. Okay, here, rook B4 would have been a good possibility here to pick up the bishop or win another pawn. And good winning chances for white, but he played rook G4, rook C8, and H4. And after this, it's black is losing the knight, and the game is going to be over. Again, the last chance in this position was the move king h7, and then black would have, still had some decent fighting chances for a draw. So very sharp, very interesting game with lots of interesting ideas starting from the opening. And yeah, this was a little bit unusual play, this early b5. Normally black plays e5 or e6, but this b5 was quite interesting. So white ended up winning this game. And so this is the game from round 3 of the GM Norm Tournament in St. Louis. Hope you guys enjoyed this game, and be back with some